We're live! Yes, we are! And we're excited about it. Today is Thursday, and Thursday's thoughts include for today's topic. So, you had a bad day. What do we do about it? So, you had a bad day. I don't know the words to that song, but I like it. So, you had a bad day. Don't.
Oh man,
Don't do that.
Shift the angle a little bit. All right, good. All right, cool. Good morning. How you doing? Lisa was running behind schedule, so was I. Good morning, Miss Phyllis.
Oh, good morning, Miss Phyllis. So you had a bad day. What happens? What does that do to the rest of your momentum? Is it like a hard stop? Is it a gotta regroup? Is it a keep on moving no matter what? What does so you had a bad day? What does it invoke in you? What does it provoke on you? What, if anything, does it suppress in you? Those are some thoughts for today's episode.
You had a bad day, taking one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around.
Just to turn it around.
You say you don't know. You say you don't know. You tell me don't lie. You work at a smile and you go for a ride. You had a bad day. The camera don't lie. You're coming back down and you really don't mind. You had a bad day. You had a bad day. I had a bad day yesterday, but you know what? In the midst of my bad day yesterday,
yes,
I still made a sale.
Well, amen. No.
I made a sale yesterday.
Miss Phyllis says, heart stop, think, and keep it moving.
A
heart stop or hard stop. I don't know if you're using talk to text or if you just have had a profound moment that we haven't caught up with. Want to make sure we don't miss it. But what are your thoughts about the thought? So you had a bad day, or you had a bad moment, or something. And I guess bad is a relative
term. Really bad day, really bad tribulation or trauma. What if you lost money, or someone got hurt, or had a car accident? You know, you had a bad day.
You know what? It's funny that you say that, because I think that even in the midst of physical calamity that does not end in death, our mind automatically finds some good in that. You know what I mean?
It does.
But when it
could have been a worse accident.
Right.
We've seen people on here say it.
Absolutely. Our minds immediately go to
our car got totaled, but no one got hurt.
But we walked away. Or, the car got totaled and there were no casualties. Right. No one got killed in the accident or whatever else happened.
Been so much worse. And
it's like with that, we go right to the revelation of thank God. But how does that apply then when something that is non-life-threatening happens? Do we immediately go to, I'm so grateful and thankful that I'm still alive. I'm so grateful and thankful.
I ain't trying to preach this morning, but here I go. Okay.
Okay.
My wife just talked about when a physical calamity happens, when property damage happens, like a wrecked car or something like that.
Particularly a wrecked car, or
we go to
a storm. A physical storm that
our mind allows us to go to.
Thank God.
Good about this. Thank God about that. I am about to say something here. And she also said, what if it's not a physical calamity? What if it's not injury?
What do we apply that?
What happens is when we don't allow that to happen, where we immediately look for the good, is because we are getting in God's way with our brains. We're trying to figure stuff out. Oh, wow, this has happened. This is bad. Let me think of the future. This is bad. This is that. Whoa. You had a bad moment there, but God. If you allow God to help you to look for the good in it, just like you did with a car accident, Allow God to help you look for the good in it. Other than that, we're getting in God's way. Good morning, Mr. William Brown. How you doing, sir? We're getting in God's way. Because whatever bad calamity happened, it could have been worse. And thank God it didn't go to the worse.
But what about when it does? Amen.
What about when it does? Mm-hmm. What about when it doesn't? See how easy that is? The misuse of imagination.
Mm-hmm.
The misuse of imagination.
Absolutely. Good morning, Monique. Good morning, Dr. Deborah. So grateful to have you guys here with us this morning.
I had a bunch of bad stuff happen to me yesterday. Aggravating things happened to me yesterday, and I still made a sale. Shopping center. I was so pissed off at the grocery store last night. I was so angry. I did a video about what happened to me, but that video didn't capture the depth of my anger in the moment.
I wonder if sometimes the bigger things, the smaller things aggravate you, because oftentimes the bigger things do not.
Do not what?
Aggravate you.
They do. The way I cope with them is different.
Mm-hmm.
I cope with them. It bothered me as much as it bothered you. The big thing that happened to me bothers me a lot, but I cope with it better, I think, a little bit differently. Not better, it's not the right word. Differently. Because I know I'm still drawing air in my body. And I also hearken to money or man. Money or man. If you have a problem that can be resolved by either money or by man, you don't have a real problem. Mm-hmm. There's other problems that can't be resolved by money or man. Mm-hmm. Sickness cannot be resolved by money or man. Okay, there's no amount of money that's going to cure that thing other than time and medical care and or man. Sometimes medical care not even two. But if it's something that can be handled by money or man, and if I'm still drawing air in my body, I have to believe that I'm going to get through this too. I have been through a lot of stuff, horrific things, stuff that could break someone else. But I've learned as long as I can still draw air in my body and expel carbon dioxide, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get through it. It may be painful, mm-hmm. and it may take longer than I want to, but I'm going to get past that. I'm going to get past it.
Amen. Monique says, anger is just for the moment. It is a feeling, and it will go away.
There's a 4-word philosophy. It's biblical, and sometimes it's inappropriate to say, but it's so freaking true. This, y'all know the 4 words. Mm-hmm. This too shall pass.
And be sure that when you say that you're strong enough to take a punch.
That's right. Because sometimes that's the last thing they want to hear. They don't want your philosophy when they're in pain. No. They don't want your philosophy when they're embarrassed even.
No. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear responses and cliches that are true.
Like I just said, sometimes people don't want to hear it, but there's nothing truer ever stated. This is not going to stay.
But be sure to balance that with some empathy.
The day does follow the night. It doesn't stay winter all the time. Spring surely follows the winter. It's darkest before the dawn. Who said that? The bad is just a moment. Who said that? Monique. Anger is just for the moment. It is a feeling and it will go away. Time heals. I watched the special.
Dr. Deborah says, I like that point of view, Brian. And Monique goes on to say, you can hold yourself accountable for your own actions.
No one else's. What? You're right. You cannot hold anybody else responsible for the way you wanted them to act. You can't do that to people. William Brown says,
I'm learning that my knowledge of good and evil, or even right and wrong, causes me to get in the way of God. Mm-hmm. When I'm not attached to the good or bad or right or wrong, I just ask God for the lessons and can show gratitude.
William Brown, wonderful. I love it. I'm learning that my knowledge of good and bad, of good and evil, or even right and wrong, caused me to get in the way of God. Because what you know, your brain, you know so much. Oh no, this happened. Let me use my brain and imagination to imagine ancillary bad things that's going to happen because of this. This bad thing happened. Let me make it worse by putting my brain in the balls into it.
Monique goes on and says, remember, people are just who they are. People want to get a rise or a reaction
They
from
know, but
you,
yeah, but it's how you
but it's
handle
how you
yourself.
handle yourself.
Why was I so angry at the grocery store last night? I had an hour between the time I went to the grocery store to the time I had to start my workshop last night. My plan was because I like soup in the house, canned, regular old canned soup. I'm that old school. Canned soup and Ritz crackers. That's a meal for me, and it can go at any point of the day. So if I don't have any, I don't have that quick and easy thing. Okay. So I go to the grocery store, and they happen to have a great sale on canned soup. $2.36 a can. That's pretty good. So I selected the flavors I wanted, put them in my cart. And I even did this. I knew I needed some water in the house too. So I went and got a pack of water, a big pack of water. And I even said, you know what? We don't have no ramen noodles in the house. How is that going to be the case? I have none of those in the house. I even grabbed a pack of that too. I go there. I see the long line at the self checkout, but I don't want the self checkout anyway.
Don't work here.
I don't work there. I went to the line, and there's a lady there that she had also selected her items. And she had a full cart, and the bottom part was full too, and she just started putting them on the belt. So I'm in a quandary. I don't want to do self-check anyway, and I definitely don't want to ring up 14, 15 items. Okay, I got like 13 cans of soup, water, and the so it's 14, 15 items I have. I don't want to ring up 15 items at self-checkout. I'll use self-checkout as one or two, three things for me. That's it. I don't want to do that because I don't work there. I ain't get the training. I don't have the uniform, none of that. I ain't got a name tag, none of that. So I say to the girl that's bagging, there's one lady there bagging, one lady ringing up, could you open a register? She just looking around, look towards the office. No one's front. She didn't say a word. So I'm in a quandary and I'm pissed off. No registers, long line at self checkout. I don't have all day to wait, and I don't want to ring it up anyway. Ah! That's where I felt. So you know what I did? Monique's sister Monique, you know what I did? I left it all there and came home. Left it all there.
I'm telling you. Dr. Deborah says sometimes people can get stuck in the bad day.
People can get stuck
in the bad day.
and something bad happened. You tripped and fell into on a puddle. Now your clothes is ruined. I gotta go home and change. Praise God, you got a home to go to. Praise God, you got clean clothes that you could change into.
Dr. Deborah says, Brian said, I don't have a name tag. For real.
I don't work here. Mother Mark Greer says, man, I'm with you, bro. He said, I hate self-checkout and I won't do it. Mark Greer hates it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. I thought that I also hated it, but I went to I don't want to call them out because I like the place. I went to a store.
Give it another name that rhymes.
That used to sell things for $1, and they appreciate and love the Arbor situation. However, some of them, hey, Julie Ray, some of them have self-checkout and some of them just have registers that never have cashiers at them. And I find that I prefer the ones that have a self-checkout because otherwise they have 5 lines, 1 cashier, and no self-checkout. So when I come in the store and I see a line already,
the line down to the aisle?
Down the aisle.
Done.
I'm finished.
There's nothing I need at $1 fee that's going to make me stay there.
Not a baller fee.
$1 fee. I don't want to say their name.
I know.
Just like Publix or I can't remember the name for Mood Dying last night. That's the store I was at. It was a grocery store that rhymes with Mood Dying. That's what happened. My mood died. Julie Ray Hammondtree. What's up, girl?
Hey, Julie.
So you had a bad day.
You took
one down. You sang a sad song just to turn it around. You had a bad day. How you recover?
You had a bad day.
Man, and really there's a what do you call it? When one thing, a cause and effect. It could be a cause and effect. There's a great short going out now. This little boy, probably 4 years old, he's walking out of the kitchen, and the cat is at the kitchen doorway, and the boy is looking the other way and accidentally steps on the cat's tail.
Oh boy.
And the cat squeals like that and moves. And the boy turns and sees the cat. The other cat in the hallway heard the other cat squeal, runs up, looks at what the situation is. The little boy is continuing on. The cat looks, oh, you messed with my boy? So then the cat attacks the little boy, jumps on his legs and bites at his buttocks, and the kid is screaming, and the cat is clawing, and the kid is running towards mom, and mom is in a recliner with her feet up, and she can't hardly get down fast enough. So she's trying to get to her son, and he's trying to go behind her. Then the dog sees what happens. Then the dog runs over and jumps on the cat, bites the cat releases, and the dog chases the cat. Cause and effect, all of that happens.
That's a whole lot of.
But who was standing there recording this? All that stuff that happened.
I'm telling you, but I'm telling you, sometimes in life there is that goes on that could give you the opinion that you're having a bad day.
But it could have been just a bad moment.
But it could have been your bad moment and someone else's bad day.
Ooh, yeah. But the compounding of it.
Yeah, but just like the story with the gentleman on the train, getting on the train with his children, running up and down the train, just not taking any care of them. He wasn't doing any mind to sit them down and get them together. And someone just was like, you know what, these kids are getting on my nerves. I can't stand it. Somebody needs to do something.
Sir, can you do something to control your children better?
And he had a bad day.
We just left the hospital. And they found out their mother died, and I guess they don't know how to handle it. And I don't know how to handle it either.
And then immediately upon hearing that someone's truly bad day is just causing a minor infarction upon your moment. Yeah. Then it actually can change your mood as it changed his. I think that was Zig Ziglar.
No, it was Stephen Covey.
Stephen Covey's
story. He said once he heard that, he immediately went from being pissed off to wanting to help the man. Well, can I help you? You know, maybe I can do something to the kids.
Right. How can I help?
Right.
What can I do to help? And that kind of is something that I think kind of stays in the back of my mind when I'm dealing with people who are coming across as gruff and abrasive or dismissive even. My first mind is more often than not to be patient and compassionate, unless both of our bad days are submerging upon one another.
Interesting. Your first mind is to figure out how you can be. But you know,
how I can be helpful, how I can not take it personal.
We've only been live for like 18, 19 minutes. We've been alive now, live on this broadcast. What's coming to my mind is bad moments happen. Tragic moments happen. Really, really bad things happen. But what we got to do is keep it at that and not let the bad moment become worse or not add to it or exacerbate the situation. That's the right word. That's a good Scrabble word. Exacerbate.
Playing no Scrabble.
You don't want to play Scrabble with me.
No, I know. I just think that.
Because I'm so Mickey smart. That's why you don't want to play Scrabble with me, boy.
I promise you that's not why.
Because I know all the words.
I promise that's not why.
That's why. I'm smarter. Kevin Hart used to do this bit when he was a young comic. Was it Kevin Hart? Maybe somebody else. You can't be tough and drink out of a straw. Okay. I'll slap everybody up in here. You think I'm playing?
No, I guess you can. So what do you do? How do you manage having a bad day? Do you have any advice for yourself, like ahead of time?
That you're willing to share with us?
Yeah, that you're willing to share.
You know, what would you do, Dr. Deborah Dunstan or William Brown? Let's say you're at either anybody on here, but I want your response to this now. I want you to respond to this. If you're at a cookout or a function or party, okay, the music's not too loud, but people are there, and somebody yells out, I'm about to slap everybody in this place. What would be your response? Are you the one to come up and say, you gonna slap who?
No.
Or are you gonna be the one to say, really?
No.
What are you gonna say? What you gonna do? Time to go?
Yeah.
If someone says, I'm about to slap anybody in here,
I'm leaving.
You gonna leave?
Yeah.
Yes.
Might be. Dr. Jefferson said, I usually poke myself when I'm having a bad moment.
Okay.
I work at changing my point of view. Amen. William Brown says, I personally operate from the premise that I don't need to hear someone's story to think well of them. I don't give them a story. I just work hard to remember who I am.
Amazing, amazing. You know, Lisa said earlier on this podcast today that the way I handle bad news is different than hers, or it seems like I don't have the problem with it as much. It's
no, not all bad news.
Not all bad news, but it's because I think that it could have been worse and it's not.
Yes, that was exactly what I'm referring to.
Okay.
That's in big bad news. But little bad news, you are like,
I do not lie with little bad news.
You are like very, very demonstrative with small bad news.
No. What it is I've learned. Now look, I see you put these cards out here. This is where my brain goes. Okay. Lisa's putting these amazing mindfulness cards on the desk. Okay. How my brain goes is 9:23. I know we want to do this today in African American history, but if she wanted to play cards too, so if she's going to do cards in African American history, that means to me that we have to move this along.
All of that is in your head.
In my head, yes. I gotta move this along because we got about 20 minutes to do this, that, read comments, and do the songs. All that's in my head.
No, that's in your head.
Right.
God bless you.
And I don't think it's in your head.
It's not.
So what happens is as I'm moving it along, understanding what we got to get done, we got 20 minutes to do
understanding and assuming what else is going
on. And I don't think you're thinking that way, so I gotta come across like the asshole.
Again, you don't.
I gotta, Dr. Deborah. I gotta be the asshole to say this, that, and the other, and then you guys are putting in the comments, leave Lisa alone while you rushing her. It's because I know we gotta be out of here at a certain time, and I got a 10:30 appointment. You got an appointment to get to right away too.
Yeah.
All that's in my head.
You should rest. Craig said, good morning, everyone. Have a great, blessed day on purpose and enjoy it to the fullest.
Good morning, Craig.
William Brown said, I would leave. And I probably would not be at that cookout.
Okay.
Exactly. Dr. Deborah said, I would probably laugh at the cookout situation again.
For real?
Yeah. Craig said, it's time to go because if I stay there, some furniture moving. If I stay there, gonna be some furniture moving, but also some snow singing and flower bringing.
That's right.
Going on, and me in jail for. If someone say that while I'm in the room,
I would make sure that person saw me because I'm thinking of protecting everybody else. Protection is the thing. I heard someone say that I'm about to slap everybody in here, so I'll make sure that I'm not hidden from him. So he'll have to go through me to do all that slapping. Okay. We had a workshop or a book signing or something. No, a speaker's showcase uptown Charlotte one time, and it was mostly Black people in the room, and there was this white man outside of the building. Okay, and then he was talking crazy outside, and the next thing you know, he comes in our event and sits in the back. And in my mind, Charlottesville, the church scene, the one white guy and a bunch of Black speakers going on. So I made sure that I positioned myself that if he jumped off with anything crazy, if he pulled out a gun or something like that, I made sure I positioned myself that I was going to be the closest one to him. I was going to tackle him or hit him with a chair or something. I even told some other people. So I want to make sure that I can protect the environment. I'd be the first one over there. Yep. You remember none of that?
Yeah, I remember it.
Okay.
William Brown said, I'm remembering the song from The Wiz. That's right, Baby King. I love her version.
Don't nobody bring me no bad news. No bad news.
No bad news. No bad news. No
Don't nobody bring me no bad news.
I love that.
Now, grammatically speaking, she wants all the bad news. Because don't bring her anything that's not bad news. That's what she's saying.
Promise you.
Don't bring me no
We're
bad
gonna
news.
find out.
Brittany
Good morning,
Thomas is in the house.
Brittany.
Brittany, how do you handle it when you have a bad day? You took one down. You had to sing a sad song just to turn it around. You had a bad day. And here's the other thing, too. The storms will come. You know, no one has sunny days every time, but storms will come. This we know for sure. But tell me, can you handle the rain?
Yes.
Oh, how many of y'all sing that when Johnny Gill gets into that? Y'all lean your head back and throw it out when Johnny Gill gets to that. Oh, that song, Can You Stand the Rain by New Edition? Sunny day. Everybody loves them. Tell me, baby, can you stand the rain? And when Johnny Gill, if I'm in the car and that song is on, I don't even want to leave the car until I can sing along that. All of that. You gotta get that. I'm gonna play that song today.
You get it good or not, you gotta get it.
Oh man, I throw it back. Oh, me and Johnny. Oh.
Does talking about what happened make it better or worse?
I think it makes it better when you talk it out. If you talk it out, you get it out of your chest. You know, you get it out of you.
So venting has.
I don't know if I want to go so far as to call it venting, but I definitely believe you should talk it out. Okay. That's right, Dr. Deborah. Everybody loves the sunny days, but tell me, baby, can you stand the rain? Classic song from the first time it was played. It was classic when it debuted. That's how good that song is.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. So, and then the other thing too is coming to my mind. When you have a bad time, you get bad news. You get bad news.
Don't nobody bring me no bad news.
Yes, but in life you do get bad news. Yes. We tell our clients, I do an exercise with my clients called winning and losing days. And we come up with what has to happen for you to have a winning day in your business. And we give a lot of different ways, 12, 13, 14, 15 different ways they can have a winning day in business. And I even, after we make this exhaustive list, I tell them, now you're not going to be able to win every single day. Even though you have a lot of ways to win, life does not work that way. You won't be able to win every single day. Stuff will get up, stuff will get in your way. You won't be able to win. But I tell them, if you can have 3 winning days out of 5, if you work Monday through Friday, if you have 3 winning days out of 5, you can have 2 full losing days and still have a winning week. 3 winning days out of 5 equals a winning week. So, because life is not going to let you win every single day. It just doesn't work like that.
So that's 12 winning days a month.
And you can still have a winning month.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still have a winning month. 3 times 4, last I checked, was still 12. Just 12 winning days out of a 30-day month, and you can still count that as a winning month.
144 winning
12
days
times 12, that's all you need out of 365 days. All right, it's 9:30. It's time for today's moment in African American history. Craig Sapp says, my winning days is to have one bad day in the week. Okay. Yeah, and now that works for Craig because he understands, okay, this morning this happened, this afternoon that happened. Okay, this is my bad day, but I don't want no more bad days this week. I'm going to keep working to make it not be a bad day. Today in African American history,
by Michael A. Carson. On March the 20th, 1942, 2 American Navy destroyer ships, the USS Mason and the submarine Chaser, were staffed entirely by African American crews, following a letter sent to President Roosevelt by the NAACP demanding that African Americans be used in roles other than messmen in the U.S. military. The momentum of the NAACP and the African American community forced President Roosevelt to deal with the issue of segregation against African Americans in the armed services during World War One.
There's a lot of stories about the struggles we had to do work in the military, to wear a uniform, to catch a bullet just as good as another certain person can. A lot of struggles, but Roosevelt, I can imagine. Fine, put them all on the same shelf. Again,
let them be everything.
Put a bunch of them on the sub somewhere. Put them out there in the South Pacific somewhere. Okay, that's what happened. March 20th. That was 1943. Thank you very much, baby. Dr. Deborah said that was a great accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Dr. Deborah also says that assignment is helping me. I made no sales yesterday, but when I checked, I still did have a winning day.
Hallelujah.
Amazing. That's one beautiful thing about that. And you know what thing, Dr. Deborah, I'm so happy that you did the exercise. But what it does for entrepreneurs is it gives them something to do with their time. One of the greatest challenges entrepreneurs have is busyness. They get involved with busyness, and next thing you know, they've spent hours not doing anything that's going to earn them money. And they end up tired and still having done nothing. If it's not on that list, it's not a money earning activity. It teaches them what to do with their time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you very much for the brevity there. So let's go. It's 9:33. We're doing good now. We're back on schedule. Did you want to play with a card? Because we're back on schedule now.
I'm studying you.
That's some country stuff right there. You said you grew up in the Bronx. Craig, did you really see her in the Bronx, Craig? Did you really? Or was it someone that looks like Lisa that you think is her?
The matter is, I have assimilated some of the Southern language and idiosyncrasies into my vernacular, but by no means has that taken away the thug life of the Bronx.
This ain't a thug. Baby, I'm a thug. Baby, I'm a thug. Okay. Yes, I'm a thug. I mean, William Brown, you've been around me. You could tell I'm a thug, right? William Brown, do you ever sit and think, I can't believe my friend Brian is such a thug? Do you ever think that, William Brown? Dr. Deborah, you've been around me a bunch. Did you ever sit and think, I can't believe how much of a thug Brian McNeill is? Did y'all ever have those thoughts? How did you? When you first met me till now? Did you ever sit there and just marvel how much your husband is a thug?
Yeah, no. Not even once.
You never thought about it?
Not a thug. I would not say a thug. Maybe a bully from time to time.
See, you go with that bully thing. I've learned sometimes the base is a way of expediency. They don't get paid for the grief I could put on them if they don't keep this thing moving. You know, that's how I look at it. The clerk at the airport doesn't get paid for the grief I could put on her if she don't keep this thing moving, or the customer service person or the non-customer service. Yeah. They don't get paid for the grief I can bring them. So let's keep it moving.
Yeah, but so that's a bully, not a
no, that's not a bully. It's expediency.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It's a way to get it moving faster. William Brown says, "No, I am glad to be on your team." I love it. When you have a bad day, well, even we're taking it lightly, but I don't want to take it so lightly because sometimes we get bad news that's really tough on us. Mm-hmm. A loved one, you know, something happened to a loved one. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's tough, you know, or loss of life, or I was when I was in the sales force one time. One of the vice presidents of the company, making great money, he was so upset at the office one day. The IRS cleaned out his bank account, took every dime, everything. He said it was like 15, 16 grand in there, and they took all of it. And he was sitting there knowing he's not to start all over. We didn't know what to say to him. His name was Mike Brexler. We didn't know what to say to Brex. But they took all his money, all of it. What? I once went through a period of unemployment after I got out of jail, and I
You
was
trying to push that stuff
I was, man. I was in the joint, but when I got out, I was struggling to regain my footing. My car was gone. I got a job, and I worked at that job. This job required me to work 3 weeks before I got my first check. Okay, and my first check, it was $0 on it because child support took all of it. I hadn't been paying child support because I was unemployed and all that. My first check, I had worked 3 full weeks. My first check, all of it was taken. I was so upset. I had to work another 2 more weeks to get the money. And even then, child support didn't take the whole thing the next time, but they took a chunk of it. That was painful.
out. Absolutely. William Brown said, I sometimes see you as my Tasmanian devil a phone call away. Yeah,
Wow.
I can see
Wow. You never told me that before,
I
but
can
that's
see that.
okay.
I can see that.
I'll take it.
Listen, this is an aside, but I think it's
Okay.
so we had a lesson on this first Monday of the month, and it's about to be the first Monday. Can you believe it's about to be the first Monday in April? Just 2 weeks away. But we got a tip from your Google Guru about Notebook LM. And
Okay.
I have been utilizing it on a regular basis.
Okay.
And I am telling you, it is fantastic. A fantastic way to regurgitate your studying. So I read on my own, I study on my own, but then I upload what I've studied so that I can continue to marinate in it. Right? Because that for me, that's programming. Understand that reading is learning, but programming comes from something just being poured into you. And Notebook LM, I'm telling you, it's a free service. It's on Google. Just Google it, and you can use it to put either links or videos or just paste chats. You can upload PDFs, any content, and it will generate a podcast of two people talking about what that content is talking about and allows you to really, really get into it. So this morning, because of knowing that, I know that God has answers for us. And I also know that God is doing lots of things for me, reshaping, rebuilding, doing a lot of stuff,
Okay.
right? So I put in there Romans 12 and 1. Uh, and I mean, not 12 and 1, chapter 12, Romans. I put in there some stuff from Sarah Jakes, uh, Sarah Jakes, I don't remember her new last name. But anyway, a couple other snippets on the same subject. And I'm telling you, I had a great time this morning
Good.
listening to that podcast that I created.
Got introduced to a tool that helps you to make sense of content that comes your way. That's the other thing too. Go ahead.
To really re-infuse or infuse that content. One of the things that you often talk about is the fact that me listening to some of the things that I watch on TV or whatever can be drawing me away from different stuff, and it can be putting stuff into my mind. And while I do understand your perspective on that, I have my own perspective on it.
Why is Lisa watching Paternity Court?
Yeah, I don't have, because I have an answer for you, but there you go. Jay said, I checked it and was amazed. Put my bio in, and wow, absolutely.
Thank you, Jay.
I put in Brian's stuff a couple of weeks ago, and I really loved the podcast that I got to listen to.
I liked it too, but I want to change this. I want to add the speaking stuff about me as a speaker because it was always about me as a coach. But I want to do it again. But anyway, I'm glad you did that this morning, sweetheart. I really am, and I'm glad Jay checked it as well and found some stuff too. Notebook LM.
But you said something just now. You said something like, I don't know why you're watching all that Paternity Court. I'm going to share it with you, an insight that you probably don't have.
Okay, here we go. 9:41. Here we go.
Most or many people in this world have a quest or a desire for belonging. That means that they want to know at least one other person.
That's why we're down with gangs.
Yeah, that at least one other person understands our perspective or can see where we're at. And for me, Paternity Court gave me the opportunity to see paternity from a lot of different perspectives. There's the man that wants the children. There's the man that doesn't want the children. There's the children that doesn't know who the parent is. There's all of these different things, and they have often different perspectives. I don't care if he is my father, and I need to know who my father is, or whatever it is. There's enough variables in there for me to see a lot of different perspectives. And I spent about 42 years of my I spent about 42 years of my life looking for my father, looking for my biological father, only to find him after he had died. I found who he was and what he was after he had already gone on to glory. So I wondered, was there anybody else who could commiserate with that emotion? And I have watched and embraced things like paternity court just to see if there's anybody else in there who has gone through a similar experience.
That was amazing.
That's why you don't always know.
I thought it's trash TV.
No, that's not why.
And you watch it because these people are jacked up. Their comments are crazy, but at least I ain't them. No matter what's going on in my world, I ain't that crazy.
That's
no matter what's going on in my world, I ain't in that situation. That's what I think. Even Jerry Springer, how you explain the popularity of trash TV? He acknowledged it was trash TV. Why do we love Maury chasing people down the hallway or whatever? You are not the father. All that is trash TV, but it's wildly popular. Why? Why?
Well,
okay, because I ain't that guy. You know,
absolutely.
Like, why do we like insult comics when he's making fun of everybody else? Because he's clowning that person, but he's not talking about me. And then when you've seen the classic movie, A Nutty Professor, when Reggie was making fun of the Nutty Professor, and then Buddy Love got on Reggie's case, and he said, "Oh, you snapping on Reggie?" You know, because people can't handle it. But it's hilarious when you're making fun of someone else. That's what I think it is. Anyways, 9:43. 9:43. It's 9:43. We got 9 minutes to get the heck out of here. We got to do greeting songs and greeting logos. Lisa, this is our way of saying thank you. Her name is Dr. LisaSantiagoMcNeilll. I haven't mentioned it yet. This is your first time here. Her name is Dr. Lisa Santiago McNeill. I am Brother Brian K. McNeill, and together we make what's called the Empowerment Duo. To show you what's called Let's Talk About It. We talk about personal conversations and spiritual inspiration. That's what we talk about. This show is driven by comment section. Some people have been contributing comments for years or for a long time or consistently. And the way we say thank you is with greeting songs and with greeting logos.
First one up is Miss Phyllis.
She's got a greeting logo.
Miss
Phyllis is here.
Miss Phyllis is
so
here.
Clear the way.
Miss
Phyllis is here. Now we can all have a great day. Good morning, Miss Phyllis. William Brown has a song. And it goes, good morning to our friend Will. We love him so, and we always will. Our friend Will. Good morning to our friend Will.
Shout out to William Brown and Will.
That's right. Yesterday was the 6th-year anniversary of his book. Woo, woo, woo.
Anniversary of his book. Congratulations. I am grateful to have been able to support you in that project.
How cool is that? Lisa was
a surrogate.
No, you were able to support him in publishing.
I was your book doula.
You were able to support him in publishing his book.
Absolutely.
Moni got a song too.
Moni in the middle. Where's she at? In the middle. Moni in the middle. Where that at? In the middle.
Moni was bringing it today. Good morning, Sister Moni. Dr. Deborah Dustin has a song.
Dr. Deborah, nonprofit strategist and funding coach.
Good morning, Dr. Deborah. Brother Uzama Ross kind of jam.
Bitcoin King, he's the Bitcoin King. Uzama, Bitcoin King, he's the Bitcoin King. Uzama.
Good morning, Mr. Uzama Ra. What a cool name. Who's next? And Julie Ray Hammondtree. Find out what she means to me. Julie Ray Hammondtree. Good morning, Julie Ray Elementary Craig Stab.
1,000 degrees.
You'll be on your knees and you'll be burning, begging, please. Brother, please, Craig. Let me borrow your VCR so I can do a petite. Good morning, Craig Sab. How you doing, man?
It's Brittany. It's Brittany. It's Brittany.
Brittany Thomas is Brittany. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. Brittany.
It's your time. Yeah.
Good morning, Miss Brittany Thomas. And get ready. Get ready. Oh, get ready. Get ready, because here Jay comes. Get ready, here Jay comes. Get ready, because here Jay comes. That's Jay Badier's jam. Dr. Deborah, appreciate Dr. Lisa for giving her that really, really creative, because you got to get really, really creative perspective on fraternity court.
Why do you think that I had to get really, really creative?
Well, you put meaning on it, because I don't think it's deep. I don't think that show is deep.
And that's another perspective. I don't think you had to work hard for that. I think, as a matter of fact, that was quite a shallow perspective. But
yes, but it's what I got.
Very well.
That's how I perceive it.
Absolutely.
I think you have to get really creative to make it deep and meaningful. That's what I think. No.
Well, it's not really creative for me because I have depth. My depth comes naturally.
Is TV like Jerry? You know what you do? You need to get a job. You know, that kind of stuff.
I don't like Jerry
Springer.
Yes.
Is that deep and meaningful?
No.
But if I wanted to,
Karamo, similar to Fraternity Court, Karamo.
Oh my God! Of course. Deep. But wait a minute. Before we leave Jerry Springer, if I wanted to, I could find and articulate deep societal needs and norms that are expressed and is delved into on that show. I can make it sound deep, but it's not. It's not. I can make it, but it's not.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be deep for it to have meaning.
That's Shirley Murphy. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's also very important, and I know we got a couple of minutes before we get out of here. It's also very important to remember the thoughts that you have before you lose them. Hold on. Come back to me. All right. So it's coming, it's fleeting, it'll come back.
You need to capture that.
Yes. I was telling you.
Topic again. So you had that.
So you had a bad day.
We've learned some things today too. We're not gonna make the bad day worse by using our brains and misusing our brains and imaginations. Okay, because you can do that. You know, you can. There's an expression. What is worry? Worry is a misuse of your imagination because you're imagining worst case scenarios. That's what worry is. Mm-hmm. But the same muscles you use to imagine worst case scenarios, you could use exactly the opposite and not worry. Okay, this happened. Okay, is there good in this moment? You started off this morning talking about looking for the good in it. And I almost told the story again. You don't know if this is good or bad. Do we have the time?
No.
We don't have the time. Good.
So is this good or is this bad?
You don't know if it's good or bad. You don't know. It's just what it is.
It's just what it is.
It's not good or bad. It's just what it is.
And we're grateful that we got to spend this time.
How many times in your life
you
have you found it a blessing, something that you thought was horrible? I got evicted one time from an apartment I didn't want to get evicted to, and I thought that was terrible news. A day later, it was an apartment. I mean, it was a duplex. I was on top, and I hated my neighbors beneath me. And they hated me too. So it was an uncomfortable situation. A bunch of young white kids. I ain't like them, they ain't like me. Okay. But I got evicted because I was like 6 days late on my rent. They didn't play that at that place. So I think they wanted me out of there anyway because I complained a lot. On my neighbors.
Not you.
Yeah, I complained on my neighbors all the time because they were horrible. But anyway, a day later, I ended up in a much better living situation. I ended up getting a house that cost me significantly less. I had a front yard, I had a backyard, driveway, all that stuff. And I stayed in that house for 2.5 years. That day before, I thought this was the worst thing ever. And it turned out to be the best thing for me. It was. And I love that little house. It was a little house.
Well, I'm so
It
grateful.
was a little house on the prairie. What y'all know about that? Little house on the prairie?
So you had a bad day. Turn it around.
Yeah.
We're gonna see you tomorrow for Shout It Out Friday and have some good
Thank you for
vibration.
joining us today. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
In the meantime, in between time,